Hello friends, family, total strangers. Today's video is, I'm not going to be doing any subject, so it's just about the places that I've been here in western Taiwan. So after I left Keelung, my first destination was Alishan. So I went up to Alishan National Park, and it was really busy. Alishan's really expensive. My idea was to go from Kaohsiung and take the train up to Finchihu, stay there a couple nights, and then explore Alishan from there. But apparently it's like a tourist train, and it's very famous and very popular, and so I didn't get a ticket ahead of time and I couldn't take it. So no tourist train for me. I had to take the bus to Finchihu, but I ended up taking the bus all the way into Alishan, explored Alishan for the day, and came back down. I ended up just staying in Finchihu and not going back to Alishan. Alishan is just too expensive. There's not really any cheap places to stay. It's very expensive, and so they have this thing called the Sea of Clouds, which is amazing because you get up to this viewpoint. You have to, through one of your hotels, they have like a shuttle that goes up, and you have this viewpoint where you can see the mountains and then the clouds forming like a sea underneath it. And I guess it's really amazing, but I didn't get to see that. But the weather was kind of questionable when I was there too, so it might not have ever been viewable anyway. So I ended up spending all my time in Finchihu, which I really loved. So I'm gonna kick you to that footage. Fourteen degrees Celsius. I think that's around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it feels awesome. And there's the second generation of the 3-generation tree. So I am in Alishan Forest Park, and it's amazing. Well, first off, it's 50 degrees. I'm wearing a freaking fleece. Thank you. Thank you, Alishan. Yeah, it's a really beautiful park. It's all clouded up, so I can't really get any good advantages of the mountains. Hopefully it'll clear up, or I can get it tomorrow or the next day before I leave. But yeah, it's awesome up here. They do love their suspension bridges here in Taiwan, at least in the national parks. Well, it's not exactly zipping into the station. The view would be pretty magical right here if not for the clouds, but still pretty sweet. Steps going down. I'm going up right now though. Wow, what a difference 20 miles makes. This is, you know, Alishan is beautiful, and I would love to see the sunrise and the sea of clouds, as they call it, but it's expensive to get there. It's expensive to get around there. It might be clouded in where you can't even see anything, and there's just a crush of people. And the platform to see the sunrise is, I guess, just a complete junk show. So, you know what? I'd rather be out here hiking with no people around. This is in, I'm staying in the town of Finchihu. And it's also really hard to find affordable accommodation in Alishan. It's, I think average prices were well over $100 and for one night, and you might be able to find some places for 70 or something, but my place down here in Finchihu is $30 a night. The town of Ruli appearing through the mists. I'm pretty sure this would be a spectacular view if it wasn't clouded in. So yeah, this is not a hugely popular trail, and yet there's still plenty of signage for it in English, which is great. So both direction signs and interpretive signs. So yeah, awesome. Man, those are some steep stairs going down. Hard to get the perspective, but I might try to hitchhike back to Finchihu. This is known as the Forest of Forgetting Sorrow. Very cool bamboo forest. I'm guessing this is a tea field. That's pretty awesome. So now that I'm only about a kilometer from Ruli, I'm starting to run into people again, but yeah, this is an awesome trail. Really enjoyed it. Very peaceful, very relaxing. Exactly what I was looking for. I should say peaceful and relaxing, but not easy. That was actually a very tough trail. Treacherous footing, lots of ups and downs, stairs. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, but yeah, it was awesome. So I ended up not hitchhiking. I tried to hitchhike, but one car stopped, but they were going a different direction, and it was the only car that went by. There wasn't any traffic, so I decided just to hike back, and now it's super misty, but I'm almost back. It's pretty awesome. It is getting a little buggy towards the end here. It was actually not too bad the whole day, so. So after Finchihu, I went to Taichung from there. Taichung was really awesome. It was a livable city, but it really didn't have much for tourism. Like, there's a couple cool things to do, and I did them. So yeah, Taichung was cool, so I'll shoot you that footage. This is the Luchuan Riverside walkway, which goes for a couple miles. Pretty cool how they light it up. So apparently this was a housing for retired military guys, and it was set to be demolished, and a guy that used to live here decided to set out and paint this, and he did. He painted the entire village, and he was 86 when he started doing it, and it ended up getting notoriety, and they decided not to tear it down, and it's become this big tourist attraction. So yeah, it's really cool. This is called the Rainbow Village, and if you want to get here, I would suggest doing it in the morning before it gets like it is right now. But it's still really cool. So after Taichung, I spent a night in Puli, which is where I had that amazing potluck dinner. But I really didn't do anything. Like, there's not much to do in Puli. It was just kind of a stopover destination. And then from there I went to Sun Moon Lake. So Sun Moon Lake was really, yeah, not my favorite. You know, it would be good for a day or two, but 3 days is definitely too long in Sun Moon Lake. It's very touristy. It's the first time in Taiwan that I really felt like a tourist. So yeah, let me kick you to that.
那在特殊的情况下，请听我禁止进入了哈。好，那我们左右。
Ah, the sound of drones.
It's also as we are a little bit more in the mountains, so.
I have reteamed with my friend Daniel from Berlin.
Hello.
This is the view from the top of Alishan, Malin Mountain, looking down on Sun Moon Lake. Yeah, this is a pretty easy hike. Kind of steep though, so only about two and a half miles or so. But yeah, kind of steep, but beautiful up here. This is a common street food here in Taiwan. It's a pork belly sandwich and a steamed roll, and then the egg is a little different, but it always has peanuts, some pickled vegetable, and cilantro.
You want something from the sauce? Then yeah, just let me know.
I think I got really lucky. There's a big group of high school kids on either side of me, but I think I got my own little booth. And away we go. This is a little touristier route than I normally go. There's a great hiking trail right behind the hostel that goes up to Suishe Mountain, but it was just too long. It's like an 8-hour hike, and I just didn't have it in me, so I'm taking a tram up a different mountain instead. If this was 600 like the Taipei 101, I probably wouldn't have done it, but it's only 300, so it's about half the price. It's $10. Yeah. Well, I think it's worth it. Get some nice views. Looking down on Sun Moon Lake. So Sun Moon Lake is beautiful, it really is, but this is a very touristy area. This is probably the most touristy, this and probably Alishan, because they're so close. Both of these are so close to major cities, whereas Taroko Gorge is pretty far away from all the population centers. So yeah, it's super touristy here, lots of Chinese tour buses and mainland China tourists. I would avoid this lake on the weekend. Avoid this lake on the weekend, and I would also avoid the town of Suishe, however you pronounce it. It's the main town. It's super touristy. There's people trying to get you onto bikes and boat tours, and you can't walk down the street without getting harassed. It's the only town in Thailand, or in Taiwan, I should say. Sorry, people always mess that up. It's the only town in Taiwan where that's been a problem. But I'm on the other side of the lake in Itashao, and it's much calmer, much better food options with cheaper prices, and nobody is trying to sell you a bike, which is awesome. Like, they're intense. Those bike people are intense. They walk around with their little walkie-talkies, talking to home office, and they'll all follow you around, and then there will be like a whole flock of them trying to get to you. They're always trying to get you to get their bike rental before you go to one of the other ones, and it's intense. So yeah, avoid Suishe and avoid the weekends. So the ropeway leads to the Formosan Aboriginal Cultural Village, which is kind of like almost like a theme park, and you do have to pay to get into that. It's actually kind of expensive. I think it was like $20 or $30, so I'm not doing that. So I'll probably just take the ropeway back up and back down, because it kind of goes up and then down to this point. I don't quite think I'm feeling an amusement park today, so yeah, we'll pass on the cultural village. Honestly, if I had to do it over again, I would probably either go all-in tourist and got the Formosan Village amusement park pass, or I just would have skipped this. Like, it's cool, but it's like a 10-minute tram ride each way, and it does have some nice views, but I got those yesterday hiking, and yeah, I mean, I'd probably either go all in tourist or just skip this. There's looking across to Alishan, the quieter town, which it's still busy, but it's got much better restaurant options and not nearly as crazy as the other side. So Sun Moon Lake is beautiful, but it's pretty commercialized. I booked here for 3 nights. I think 2 nights is plenty. You know, you can go for a bike ride if you want to deal with all the bike people. But I suggest definitely going to the Wenwu Temple and also doing the hike up Alishan was really nice. Those 2 things are definitely my main recommendations. You can take a boat trip, but it's a tour with a guy with a microphone talking loudly in Chinese, which, you know. And you could take the ropeway, but that's pretty short. So yeah, I think my main recommendations if you want to come to Sun Moon Lake are to, you know, just hike along the shore for a little bit, go to Wenwu Temple, and also the Alishan Trail. And stay in Alishan to avoid the high prices and craziness of whatever it's called. This looked interesting, some sort of cabbage mushroom giant wonton. That little bird was a mountain chicken. That was 100, which is, boy, that is $3.33. Overall, Sun Moon Lake was beautiful, worth checking out, but, you know, yeah, 1 day, 2 at most is all you really need for Sun Moon Lake, and don't go on the weekend. We left on Saturday, or I left on Saturday, so it was fine. But yeah, that's pretty much my video. So I just had a bunch of footage that I needed to get off of my phone because I'm running out of space. So I just decided to put it all in one video and kind of try to catch up. So yeah, that's my video. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Thanks much.